Welcome to SportsBeat KC, the Kansas City Star's daily sports podcast. It's Monday, August 17th, and I'm Blair Kirchhoff. We're talking Chiefs today with beat writer Sam McDowell. Tight end Travis Kelce's well-deserved contract extension spoke to how undervalued the position has been in the NFL. But with players like Kelce and the 49ers' George Kittle, that's beginning to change. You'll hear from Kelce after a break. Also after the break, you'll hear from offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who complimented Patrick Mahomes in an unusual way, and you'll hear Mahomes' response to that. But first, here is Sam McDowell. Okay, Sam, I want to talk about the Travis Kelce contract and what you wrote about that. It was really interesting when you couple Kelce and George Kittle, and then the tight end position in general. But I wanted to start with something else, and that is little quotage from the Chiefs this weekend coming from offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who's always interesting. And, it's funny with him. We always complain about, well, he doesn't really say too much, but he did this weekend. I thought the way he described Patrick Mahomes in a very complimentary fashion, but sort of in an Eric Bieniemy complimentary fashion. What did he say?
I feel like we need Vahe on here because he's got some line about how you only need one quote to make a story. But yeah, with Eric Bieniemy, I actually asked that question. I can't even remember how I phrased it. But I asked him something about his competitiveness, and he said he's a competitive prick. And as soon as he said it, you're like, all right, well, I'm writing about that today in some fashion.
What I liked about it was he said it, and then he said it again.
Said it again, yeah. Did you guys get that? You guys got competitive prick, right? Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So, of course, there had to be all kinds of follow-up questions on that. So Mahomes was asked about it on Sunday, and Andy Reid was asked about it. And it's all, look, it was just Eric Bieniemy's way of really complimenting Patrick Mahomes. I knew it, when he said it, I knew exactly what he meant, right? I mean,
I did too, yeah.
Just everything we hear about Patrick Mahomes in practice that we've been hearing since he's been with the Chiefs, even when he wasn't, when he wasn't the starter as a rookie, just this ultra uber competitive guy, and I think that quote will stick with Patrick Mahomes for quite a while. Not gonna forget that one, I don't think.
I think that sets the tone for training camp. And it actually, I know this is about Patrick Mahomes, but it also makes me think of a guy on the other side of the ball in Tyrann Mathieu. I'm sure it seems like from what we gather, people we talk to and talking to him, that he's the same way. We saw him mic'd up in that playoff game last year. And the reason I bring that up is because when you've got those two guys, when you got ones against ones going on, which is what's going on right now out of training camp, you've got that constant competition, and as cliche as it is, it's also true that that's how your teams get better. And so Tyreek Hill was also asked about it after Eric Bieniemy said it, and he said it could be play number 10, and Patrick is still, all the guys are hands on knees, and Patrick is guys, I need you, come on, I need you, because he just doesn't want to lose a single rep at it practice.
Wow. Hey, and speaking of Tyrann Mathieu, was it? I'm trying to remember where I saw this, because we hear from so many Chiefs right now, right? 3 or 4 players a day via the Zoom call. Was it Alex Okafor that was just effusive in his praise of Tyrann Mathieu about, he not only knows what he's doing, what you're doing, but what every other defensive player on the field is doing. I thought it was a pretty instructive quote from, I think it was Alex Okafor. If not, it could be anybody else on the defense, to be honest with you. Just sort of how, omnipresent is one thing. And we know literally and figuratively, because Tyrann Mathieu plays all over the field from his safety position. But the fact that he is in tune to what everybody else on the field is doing when he's on the field just really speaks to his incredible ability and why he was named the team's MVP last season and not Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a trivia question on who won the team MVP during the Super Bowl year.
Right.
uh, it was actually the reason I'm correcting you on this because it was very interesting. It was Tedrick Thompson, who's only been with
That's right. That's
he's
right. It
like
was
3 or 4 practices into the his Chiefs tenure, and he's already picked up that wow, Tyron knows everything about this defense. And Vahe wrote a good article about that on Sunday. And what's interesting to me is last year they brought in Tyrann Mathieu and say, hey, go lead this defense. This year he's already been doing it for a year, so it's just a natural thing. And by the way, when they asked Tyrann Mathieu to do that last year, he didn't know Steve Spagnuolo's defense. Now he does, and so that's why the quote that you bring up is so interesting. That somebody's already picked out, like he knows everybody's assignment. And part of the reason he knows everybody's assignment is we saw last year, especially the back half of the season, Tyrann Mathieu's got to play everywhere sometimes. He plays in the line of scrimmage. He plays deep in the secondary. Sometimes he plays somewhere in between. So his value goes, as good as a football player as he is, his value goes much beyond just the X's and O's that he's able to execute on the field.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about Kelce and the contract. We learned about this on last week, late last week, Thursday or Friday of last week, and it's just amazing that what the Chiefs have done contract wise with everybody, really everybody. Started with Sammy Watkins right after the season and just continued through. Every player that needed to get extended got extended, and the latest, of course, Travis Kelce. What was the? I'm trying to remember the exact dollar figure. I think it averages out to $14.3 million a year for Kelce.
Yeah, it was obviously he's already got the 2 years, so it extends
Yeah.
on 4 years onto that for about 57 million.
Okay. And you wrote a really interesting story about the not just Kelce and the contract, but the tight end position in general. And I think we've kind of noticed this over the last few years, just how undervalued the tight end position is. And there's just no greater example of the value of of Kelce and the position to a team than Kelce to the Chiefs. And we've seen it ever since he's been there, especially since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback. Although it extends to when Alex Smith was the quarterback as well, Kelce has just been incredibly productive for the Chiefs. What's going on with the tight end position, and why does it seem to be so undervalued?
I think it's just they're still playing catch up from 2 decades ago when they weren't this. I mean, they were an extra blocker on the line that caught the occasional pass. And now you've got guys like Kelce and Kittle that are the go-to guys in the passing game. I mean, Kelce has led this team in catches. Um, Kittle had led his team the past couple of years in catches. He's just in his second and third season. But the timing, I guess, of my article is a little odd because those two guys are now going to make a third more than any other tight end was making before they signed their deals last week. But still, comparatively to, I mean, there's offensive guards still making more than those guys are. There's players at just about every position outside of the specialist and offensive center and fullback that are still making more than the highest paid tight end. And their value, when you really analyze it, implies that they should be making more.
I just think of the playoff game against the Texans, the divisional round game against the Texans last year,
Absolutely.
when the Chiefs fell down 24-0 and made the incredible comeback in the second quarter. And that was Travis Kelce's quarter. That was incredible what he did. The 3 touchdown receptions and just basically had the playoff game of his career. And we can all think of other examples of Kelce. He caught the touchdown pass to help. It was 20-10, right? In the Super Bowl, he caught the touchdown pass and made it 20-17 in the fourth
About
quarter.
6 minutes left. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is, again, over 1,000 yards. Is it 4 straight years over 1,000 yards receiving? And
Yep.
and I read somewhere that there are 11 wide receivers that make more than Kittle, who's now at $15 million a year, and 13 wide receivers who make more than Kelce. And none of these guys caught as many passes as Kittle or Kelce in last year. So it's He is. It was interesting to see, and again, a couple things: the fact that the Chiefs figured out a way to get it done financially, and then Kelce's reaction when we talked to him on Zoom, which you're going to hear after we take a break. You're going to hear the Kelce, the entire Kelce interview where he addresses his contract. He really wanted this. I mean, there is no and just true. It's got me thinking. Everybody who has been extended or had a new contract, they just sound so happy to be in Kansas City. It's it hadn't always been this way.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I don't know how much I can add on to that because I think you said it so well. To his value, it just to me comes down to how different would this team because I referenced this in the story, but in Major League Baseball you've got so many advanced metrics, especially WAR, which is a really popular one's above replacement, where they've tried to tinker and figure out a way to compare guys that don't play the same position or that played the same position but do it so differently, and to figure out exactly what value they bring. And football, you just don't have those sort of stats. So I think you just have to ask yourself, how different would this team look without him? Is there anybody else out there that can do what he does if you are missing that guy? And the answers with Kelce are so incredibly obvious that he's not a guy you can afford to have off the field. Now, fortunately for them, he hasn't missed a game in these last 4 years, other than he actually missed Mahomes' first career start in Denver because he was one of the guys they set out.
Right.
But this offense doesn't do what it does, in my opinion, without Travis Kelce. And I just think he brings tremendous value. I think since 2016, he's fifth, I think, in receiving yards among all players. You mentioned that stat among wide receivers. 13 of them are making more money. And one of the guys I referenced was Odell Beckham Jr. is making significantly more. And I think he's at around $18 million. And his stats are nowhere close what Travis Kelce brings. And by the way, Travis Kelce doesn't go out for a route every time. He still sometimes does stay in and block.
I'll give you another example of his value. It was in the final game that Alex Smith played for the Chiefs, the playoff game against the Tennessee Titans. And Kelce got the concussion at the end of the first half.
Oh, great point, yeah.
Chiefs were up 21-3. Without Kelce's threat on the field in the second half, that game was lost. And now look, they lost Chris Jones, I believe, in the second half of that game as well. But so on the offensive side, they didn't score again, and they couldn't control the ball. It was a few 3 and outs, and that was kind of it for the Chiefs. And part of that was Kelce not being there. So,
I need you to edit my story because I was trying to find a game to see if he had missed a game for the purpose of showing his value, and I completely forgot about the fact that he missed half of a game. So I just looked at his appearances and starts and that sort of thing, and completely forgot about that example. But that's a great example. That should have gone somewhere in my story.
Well, there's no proof. What's funny? What I remember about that is because he had the concussion, he was injured, he wasn't, and probably couldn't talk after the game. We didn't get a chance to talk to him until training camp, the months and months later, and he was still really bummed by it. I remember just so disappointed that he couldn't play in the second half of that Titans game. I don't think the Chiefs lose that game if Kelce.
I think you're right. And I remember that press conference. He actually said that he didn't even know they lost till after the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, Sam, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, you will hear from Travis Kelce. We're also going to play the audio of Eric Bieniemy, his description of Patrick Mahomes, and we'll have Mahomes' response to that. So, Sam McDowell, thanks for hanging out with us for a while.
All right, thanks, Blair.
Hey, it's Blair. We have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns presented on the kansascity.com site, and it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. Your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star, and that support has never been more important. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening.
Hey, Travis, congratulations on the new deal. Wanted to ask you, from your own standpoint, why it was so important. Looks like you're probably going to be able to finish your career here. Why that's so important to you, number one. Number two, it was Pat, it was Chris Jones, now you. I mean, obviously the Chiefs are stepping up financially to some extent here, but why? What's going on here? Is it just the winning, or what else? What are else the reasons for guys wanting to stay with the Chiefs right now?
I think there's a lot of reasons, man, and it's one is because we got great guys in the locker room. We got great guys in the facility, great people in the facility, and it's just overall it's a fun atmosphere every single time you come to work, and guys don't want to leave that. Guys want to keep building off of that, and it's a beautiful thing when you have ownership trusting you, want to make change with you in terms of the season and the community. And then on top of that, just going out there and playing football with guys who come to work every single day and fight their tail off for you, man. It's a beautiful thing. And you know what? This community, Kansas City, I love you, and I'm thankful that I'm going to be here for the next 6 years.
Let's go to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
All right, cool. Hey, Travis, how you doing, man?
What's up, Steve?
Hey, there are a select number of players in this franchise history, Tony Gonzalez being one of them, who are revered by fans. This gives you an opportunity to get there. How much does that mean to you to be able to get your name on that list?
I'm just man, it's everyone's always been trying to compare me to Tony since I got here just because of the position. And you know what? He's a Hall of Famer, man. And there's a reason why he's a Hall of Famer is because he did it the right way every single time. You know, he was out here in this community trying to make the community better and trying to show everybody his face, get out from under the face mask and make a difference. And that's what I'm trying to do every single year. I'm teaming up with Operation Breakthrough on some more things. So we got some news coming for you guys with that. But outside of just being a great competitor, man, I've tried to model my professionalism off of what Tony has already started here. Because I knew it was a model of success. And I can thank Tony and everybody for comparing me to Tony to make me want to up the ante every single time.
Let's go to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Travis, how you doing, man? Congratulations as well. With all the, talk of run it back and everything, and you getting the extension, Chris and Mahomes, I'm just wondering the conversations that you had, being with those guys and knowing that you're going to be with these guys for a long time, just how fortunate do you feel that you've gotten in the position where you have consistency both in the locker room, out in the field, out hanging with those guys? Just how fortunate are you to have that consistency?
Man, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. Like I said, the front office, Brett Veach, Coach Reed, Clark Hunt, Mark Donovan, the guys that really put this organization and bring everyone together and get everybody on the same page. We got all the trust in the world that those guys are going to get it done and make it worth our while we're here. And can't thank them enough for the opportunities that we've had up to date. And you know what? We're making our effort every single day to make the best yet to come, man.
Let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Trav, congratulations. Something we've seen with the tight end position over the past decade is it grow into this offensive weapon position. And there's other great tight ends in the league, Gronk, Ertz, for example. What's been different about you and set you apart is just the consistency, the 4 years in a row of 1,000 yards or more. What do you think's been the key to that success when it comes to being able to do it every single year?
Well, being very fortunate that I'm on the field, that's the biggest thing, man. I've been very fortunate to have great teammates around me, great coaches to put me in positions to succeed, and then on top of that, great athletic trainers in the trainer room. You can't underestimate or throw them, leave them out of the puzzle, man. Because rehab and keeping guys on the field is arguably half the job in the NFL, because we know how physically demanding it is. So it's just I've been very fortunate to have this this circle of success around me, and it just keeps getting better and better, knowing that the front office and Coach Reed are bringing in guys that are going to help us win.
All right, guys, we got our final four hands up. Let's go to Karen first. Go ahead, Karen.
Hey, Travis, congratulations. Two questions. One, what was it like putting on the pads today, just like riding a bike? And two, Coach just said new wrinkles being put in. We saw how ingenious you guys were at the Super Bowl. Are you guys going to do even more of that kind of fun stuff this year?
I don't know. It's right now we're in the beginning stages of camp, so we're running a lot of the installs that are kind of like the base packages. So right now it's just it's keying in on what our rules are and everything like that. But it's you never know with this mentality of this offense. I mean the skill outside at receiver, at running back, it's second to none. So that gives the coaches freedom, especially when you got a quarterback back there that can handle and absorb as much information as you can get them. It's definitely a fortunate situation. It's like it's a never ending circle that just keeps going round and round and getting better and better. And the pads today were fun. It was good to get out there and hit somebody and try and get some fundamentals back down.
Let's go to Seren. Go ahead, Seren.
Travis, I know this is not your first big money contract, right? So the complacency side of things, you've fought through that, the idea of like getting paid and now, okay, you let down. But a lot of guys are getting paid. Have you guys had discussions? Have you talked to? Are you the guy giving everybody directions on how to keep your edge and how to keep that hunger? And just kind of, if you could, then after that, overall, just everybody's back, right? And I know run it back is the theme and everybody likes that, but usually teams that go back to the Super Bowl have some turnover, and maybe some people speculated it's the new guys that don't have a ring that maybe drive that hunger. So could you just tell me why you believe you guys have that hunger and what you've done to tell some of the guys that are coming into those big contracts?
You can see it right away. I mean, we've got a pretty good understanding of how to get there, right? We did it last year. We have great leaders in this locker room. And when I say that, I mean it's every single day. It's not like one day it's somebody else. Every single day we got the same guys leading the charge and not settling for anything less than what we did last year, or then even more so, ante it up and double down on everything we did last year. So it's a mindset, and it's everyone's just eager to get out there and get to work. And as long as we're working our tails off every single day, we got the players to make plays on Sunday. We just have to put in the work to get down the timing of things, make sure our fundamentals are there, and then just go out there and have fun on Sundays.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hello, Travis. Congratulations on the new deal. I have two questions for you. The first is, and you mentioned Clark Hunt's sort of influence and impact on you guys. In terms of handling out these contracts, in terms of keeping the core together, what does it say that since you've been around the organization for 8 years now, what Clark's impact on the franchise has been, particularly the last couple of years in terms of identifying the right guys to put together a championship team? And secondly, you mentioned the idea of obviously wanting to play with Patrick to really thrive in your guys' partnership together. From a mental standpoint, what is it about playing with Patrick that unlocks your game as you sort of see how Patrick thinks about sort of the offense through the field and in the film room?
Well, I'll answer the Clark Hunt question first, man. It's not very fortunate, man. It's not like this in every single organization, every single city. I've heard the stories of how it could get real bad to stories of how it's pretty nice, but I'm happy with where I am because of the guy that's up front. Leading the charge, and that's Clark Hunt, man. And that the Hunt family, what they've done, bringing in Coach Andy Reid, I thought that was his best move ever in life, was to bring in Andy Reid, man, because what he does to an organization is taking him to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's clear to see his track record and what he's done here and what he's going to do in the future. And that's the biggest thing is getting the right people in place, and then on top of that, trusting in those people. And I think that's one thing that Clark Hunt has done an unbelievable job of, is he's trusted the people that he has in place, and that's as players as well. And Pat's a special guy out there on the field, and we're seeing it even more and more. So it's all unfolding every single year on what his limits are and what he can and can't do. The can't do's are very quickly starting to get smaller and smaller on the list, man. And it's cool to see him grow. And he's such a competitor that it never stops. And that's the one thing about these practices is that everyone's talking about don't get complacent, man. When you have guys coming out here competing their tails off over 5 yards, over 3 yards, 2 yards in practice, just the type of determination and mentality that brings to every single play, every single down, every single period in practice. That all that translates to the game, man. And it's what it does is it allows you to play free, and it allows you to play football that's almost like you're in the backyard playing.
Let's go. Last one, Darren. Go ahead.
Hey, Travis, how you doing?
All right.
So a couple questions for you. One, do you all as players kind of have conversations about how you all can kind of stick around and stay together, knowing that there is a high turnover in the NFL and that you all with new contracts or contracts ending wanting to stay together, do you all kind of talk about amongst each other how to work that out? And then second, how do you all as leaders hold yourself and teammates accountable? For example, we saw what happened in Seattle with the rookie trying to sneak a female in. Now, I know you all don't stay in a hotel at the moment, but how do you all kind of hold yourself accountable and teammates accountable to make sure that they're doing the proper things and the right things so situations like what happened in Seattle doesn't arrive here in Kansas City?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is I think we all knew then. We trusted the front office, Coach Brett Veach, Coach Reed, Clark Hunt, all the guys to be able to keep the core. And we trusted that they were going to be able to make it make sense for all the players, which they did. They held their end of the bargain, and we're very much thankful that we still got the core with us going into this year, and it looks like for a few years ahead as well. In terms of holding each other accountable, man, every office is different. Every team is different. The discipline is different, different leaders. I think we have a very good situation here where we have the right guys in this facility that are making the right decisions. I firmly believe that. Now, am I going to say that nobody on this squad is going to get COVID? I mean, it's a crazy world right now. You can't predict those kind of things. I just think that, everyone right now, at least here in Kansas City, seems like they're doing the right things because we all got one goal in mind, and that's to play football and play it at a high level every Sunday.
That was Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. We're going to wrap up today's show with a couple of sound bites. The first from offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who was asked about Patrick Mahomes' competitive spirit. After that, you'll hear Mahomes' response.
Pat, and I'll say this, kudos to Pat. He's done a heck of a job. He's had a great career so far. But you guys have been around him, you know him. He's a competitive prick, okay? He's a great kid, but he's a competitive prick. He wants to improve at everything he possibly can improve upon. He wants to be the best at whatever he can do. And along the way, he wants to make sure that he's leading the guys. He wants to be held accountable by his peers, but also, too, he just wants to work. And that's what you love about being around him every single day.
Two questions here for you. Your impression so far of Clyde Edwards-Helaire as he's gone through two padded practices. Obviously, he was limited today, but how much did working with him during the summer help him develop into what you're seeing now? And then lastly, Eric Bieniemy yesterday said that you were a, quote, competitive prick, end quote, obviously in a good way. But what was your reaction when you heard EB call you that?
The first part of your question, I mean, Clyde, I think, has done a great job and the reps that he has gotten. I mean, he's stepped in, he's learned the offense. He's not making a lot of mistakes. He's playing fast, and he has an incredible vision. I think that's what's been the biggest thing so far. The way he's able to run the ball, find the lanes of running in, and catch out of the backfield and get upfield and make plays happen. For him to be able to do that so early, it's a great sign, and he'll keep getting better and better. And then the second part with EB. I mean, it's just kind of in our nature, I think, not even just me and EB's nature. We love to compete. We're fiery. We love to go out there every single rep. We act like it's the last rep that we have to win. And I think we have a lot of guys on the team that are like that. It's when you get the best on Sunday. So I'm going to go out there and compete every single rep, and I'm going to have that fire every single time.
That'll do it for today. Thanks to our production staff of Derek Donovan, Randy Mason, Beth Welsh, Jeff Rosen, Chris Fickett, and Savannah Smith. Tip of the cap to Sam McDowell for stopping by and talking Chiefs. Links to stories can be found in the show notes and on kansascity.com. Hey, earlier in the episode, you heard me talk about the Sports Pass offer. It still stands and still a good one, $30 for a year's worth of sports coverage, and that includes a Sports Extra that comes with the e-edition. There are 59 additional pages of national sports coverage today. Here's an even better offer. Buy the entire Kansas City Star product. Sports news, features, commentary, and analysis, the whole thing. You get all the stories written by my talented colleagues, plus extra news, sports, and business coverage that comes with the e-edition. The details can be found at account.kansascity.com. account.kansascity.com/subscribe. That's account.kansascity.com/subscribe. And whether it's the Sports Pass or the full subscription, you're getting and supporting the best sports and news coverage in Kansas City and helping us produce programs like SportsBeat KC. Thanks for listening.